Hello everyone, my name is ProPokeNoob and welcome to a Q&A video. See, I did get it done before the end of the year because I was afraid I wouldn't. In fact, I don't have a lot of time, so I have to answer a plethora of questions in a short amount of time, which is like perfect peak content because I was studying Q&A videos on YouTube because I'm a loser. And I noticed that the way that you approach a Q&A video is it's cozy. And what you do is you read the question and then you answer the question. And I figured I could do that. I could read a question and answer a question. It's not like I haven't done that in all the other jobs that I do. So we're going to do that. I have questions that people put into my Discord. Sorry, specifically Nooblets, subs, fellow Nooblets, that put questions into the Discord. Thank you to everybody who did submit their questions. We do plan to do this monthly. As long as you keep asking questions, I'll keep answering them. And in true ProPokeNoob fashion, my community has asked really strange questions. So, you know, this is like, you might be sitting there going, oh man, I'm going to learn a lot of productive and constructive stuff about the backstory of ProPokeNoob, insert name here, and we're going to have a lot of great time. No, the first question from Sayaj is, what time is it in Canada? That's the quality of this Q&A. And to answer that question, it's 11:05 a.m. I have a thing at 12. It's December 28th. I don't know when this video is going to be out. Yeah. Okay, next question from Sayaj. Will genderless Pokemon ever obtain a gender? No. I have a video on that somewhere on my YouTube. Don't go watch it. It's a very embarrassing video, and I choose not to take it down to have something that people could get upset at me over in the future. Don't link it. Please, broken, don't link it. Don't actually. Don't. Okay, next question. From Marie X Lupin, what was the initial inspiration to start creating online content? That's a constructive question. By the way, I did look some of these. I did look at these questions beforehand and answer them, but that was like 3 weeks ago. So now it's gonna be a little bit harder. So this is a lot more natural. Initial inspiration was actually getting better internet. We had really crappy internet growing up. And what I ended up doing was, once we started getting up internet, I started going a lot on YouTube and watching a lot of PokeTube videos. PokeTubers back in the day of like 2007 and 2008 and stuff like that, when I was able to watch it. And what was happening was, part of the reason why I couldn't do it earlier, well, one, because I was in high school, but two was, back in the day, you used to use your, I just said back in the day, Christ. You use your webcam to record off your DS because the capture cards didn't exist, or people couldn't afford the capture cards. So it was very standard for you to hold your DS up to the camera and play back, like use Versus Recorder to play it back. The only use of Versus Recorder. And I couldn't do that, but once the advent of Pokemon Online came out, which was the predecessor to Pokemon Showdown, which a lot more people use, excuse me, that's when I started actually looking into creating online content and figure out what I wanted to do in 2011. Plus, being in university also helped quite a bit, so I started watching a lot of people. I had a lot of inspirational people. I was watching PokeMD at the time when he had MD in his name, Quando Ren 66, now known as ELO, Emperor ZMB, also known as MBZ, PulseFX, which is a very prominent Pokemon speedrunner still. These types of people I used to watch quite a bit. I also watched Shofu for quite some time. And it was always interesting to me because I wanted to, like, do what they wanted to do, but I wanted to do it my own way. So I always went in saying, hey, I could do that, but my way. And I never looked back on that. So it was always that, you know, it was always that journey of, I'm sure there's a standard way that I have to do this, you know, with recording and have an intro at the time. Right now, I was actually reading a lot of stuff like intros don't really matter much anymore, but I still do I've changed my intro way from, hey, well, I'm not doing it, but yeah, I basically just saw it look super fun and started becoming accessible with Pokemon Online. So I just started using those replays and then started to create the content in 2011 on YouTube. It's pretty good. From the Boiks, favorite non-main Pokemon games. I actually had to think about this. I don't know why. It's Skies of Arcadia and Golden Sun. I don't know why that was so hard for me to figure out, but Skies of Arcadia, Golden Sun, probably Zelda Minish Cap. That one was stuck in my head quite a bit. I don't know. It's hard for me to really say. I've enjoyed a lot of games. Destruction Derby 64 is a really good game for the N64 if you haven't played it. I must have enjoyed, like, Smash Melee, Soul Calibur 2, I spent a lot of time. Like, I'm trying to think, Animal Crossing. Even though I didn't spend that much time on New Horizons, I spent a lot on the old Animal Crossing, like the very first one. That was my life. It's just, you know, it's a matter of time and things like that. But, like, I have a lot of favorite games, but really, if it's one where I have to be locked in a room with my eyes taped open, it would be Skies of Arcadia. I can watch speedruns of those all day, and just watch, like, casual playthroughs of those all day. It's such a beautiful game. It's just wonderful. I am recording, right? Okay, it says I'm recording. Cool, thank you. Also, for the boys, when will you finish A Hat in Time? When you stream with me again. So Extra Life 2021, basically. From Marie X Lupin, what are you doing for your Best Mods birthday, which I hear is December? Oh my god, she left her birthday in the Q&A. Oh, that's right, I was looking for it, like, because I did forget. But 2 weeks ago, when she put the question down, I'm like, okay, Marie did tell me her birthday on stream, and then she put it somewhere in the Discord. I'm like, where the frick did she put it? The answer is in the Q&A section. What am I doing? I danced for you. I did my dance. And saying belated happy birthday again, I guess. There you go. That's your answer. From Syedge, what is your favorite gym leader from each gen? Oh yeah, I had to look this up. Okay, Gen 1 is definitely Lieutenant Surge, because absolute badass. Gen 2 is Price, because literally I am going to be Price one day, where I'm going to be this old man, maybe not with a cape, but I'm going to be this old man just who's like an expert on something. Gen 3. Probably Norman. I like the idea of my dad being a gym leader. And he was super cool too. Plus introduced me to like slacking, which is now a terrifying thing when it has crush grip and no truant. Shout outs to those who know that reference. Gen 4? Nobody remembers Gen 4. Gen 5? No, I'm kidding. Gen 4. It's not Maylene, I can tell you that much. Wow, they're so forgettable. Hold on, I gotta look this up. Don't worry, I've got an editor. This makes this easier. Oh, Crasher Wake. It's gotta be Crasher Wake. He's the only, like, remotely tolerable character of gym leaders in there. Gen 5, if we're talking about Black and White. Like, I want to say Clay. I want to say Clay because he's just, like, downright American make money and do what he wants. But I liked Elisa and Skyla for not the normal internet reasons. Like, I liked the spunk and energy that they had with what they were trying to do, right? Like, with their gyms and things like that. Like, the roller coaster was really cool. Fuck the cannons because those physics make no sense, but then she also has a giant wind turbine she puts in Black and White, too. Probably Clay. Clay also in Pokemon Masters is just super hilarious. He's just got that voice. He's like, make money, kill him, Excadrill. And it's really, really hilarious. In Black 2, White 2? Probably Elisa, because her gym is just actually a bop and an absolute pleasure to just walk down like a model lane and just, like, everybody's, like, dancing all over the place. You're battling in a scene. Oh, yeah, there's more gyms. But yeah. Ellis's gym in Black 2, White 2, but probably Clay in Black, White 1. Gen 6, I just played through this. Let's see if I can do this from memory. Probably Karina. She just kicks ass on rollerblades. That's kind of cool, I'm just saying. I'm trying to think if do I like Wolfric? Wolfric's pretty good, too. He's just, like, peak anime dad. Actually, no, Norman would be... No, well, no. Like, he's got the physique to be anime dad, but Norman is, like, actual anime dad. Like, who cares and you know, gives a shit. But Wolfric's really nice. I'm just gonna go with what's her name? What's his name? Karina. Her name, yes. Gen 7. Jeez. It's probably Olivia. Probably. That or Hala. As you can tell, I have a theme. I like people who either kick ass or corporate behemoths. I have a type. Strong and make money. Perfect. Great. That's why I date my girlfriend. Duh. No. There's many reasons. But... yeah, it's... oh, God. I can't remember if I said anyone else before, but it's probably Olivia. I want to say Nanu, but... no. I want to say Kukui as well, but he failed the trial captain phase, so... haha! Can't call him. Although he's the coolest professor if you ask me that question in a future video. Yeah, we'll just go with Olivia. Gen 8... even though I never got to fight against her, B, because she is literally the #1 representation of karate they have ever done in karate. Or in Pokemon and karate mixed together. Like, she is just fucking cool on all levels. Like everything about her movement and her, like, her strikes and all that are absolutely perfect. That's from Sword. If it's from Shield, for the people that I played, Kabu. Because again, old strong men are what I aspire to be in the future. So yeah, but B is just like pinnacle karate that they've ever had a representation in this main series, in Pokemon in general. Okay, from Marie X Lupin, Channelore aside, what is your favorite Pokemon? Absol. That's what I just tell people. Channelore actually does not influence my favorite Pokemon. Lord Sparse became a thing because I started collecting Dunsparce cards back in 2016. But yeah, Lord Sparse was something we created, but it's actually not my favorite Pokemon. It's up there, just because it's just like so helpless and adorable that it just, you know, that's what it has to deal with. But Absol is probably my coolest because I literally have a Pokemon that will just show up, but it's like, danger! You're like, oh, hey, Absol! Ah! And the train hits you or something. So, Absol. Let's just go with Absol. I have a bunch of them, but yeah. From the Boyks, what are some non-Pokemon or non-Pokemon-like games you'd suggest? #1 suggestion right now, I'm going to open up my Steam. Monster Sanctuary. Monster Sanctuary is by far the most fun I've had with a monster collecting game outside of Pokemon in a very long time. Koromon is another great one to keep your eyes on. They did some very unique things. Like right now for me, non-Pokemon or non-Pokemon-like games, if they're going to be monster collecting games, they need to do what Monster Sanctuary and Koromon's doing, where it still has like a similar element to it. It doesn't have to be like team-based, like, you know, like Temtem has gone and done the 2v2, Koromon does 3, or Koromon, I think, has 1v1 right now. They're probably going to have double battles or other things like that. Monster Sanctuary is groups of 3. But, like, the thing that they're doing where they're, like, enhancing the way that you customize your monsters and, like, the directions that you can take them beyond just EVs and IVs is definitely, like, what they need to do. And Monster Sanctuary has just kept my attention for a very long time. Other non-Pokemon not-like games... I mean, super hard ones, like ones that I would be like, yes, you must play. Obviously, Risk of Rain 2 is a pretty good one. I've got about 400 hours in that game now. It's very fun, especially with friends. It does get dry after a while, which I'm surprised at, because, like, Risk of Rain is very good in large doses here and there, right? It's not one that you want to be playing non-stop, but if you do, I'm obviously not going to judge you. I'm just saying, for me, it's one of those, like, I could go at it for a couple of days now and just leave it, because, you know, it does get pretty samey after a while, especially when you can't or don't do challenge runs just for the sake. It's very arbitrary to make Risk of Rain 2 harder for yourself, right? Or just Risk of Rain in general harder for yourself. So that's why it's one of those, like, it's like Nuzlocke. You have to make it arbitrary and you have to love it for that reason. That's why Nuzlocke are very, very good, because the randomizer feature, similar to Risk of Rain, just keeps it going non-stop. It's just that Pokemon gives more substance and I can stream it. But yeah, Risk of Rain 2, One Step from Eden. I've played one game of it with my friend Fedora Gaming, and I'm just like, oh my god, I need to find time when my hands aren't killing me to play this game. It is so good. It's so good. It is Mega Man Battle Network meets Slay the Spire. Like, what doesn't scream perfection? The only thing we're missing is Air Pirates, and we could just throw Skies of Arcadia in there, and that is like the Triforce of video games. Like, it's really, really fun. very tough too. They just added an easy mode recently, which I think makes it accessible to people who aren't very good at those tactics card building games. So I'm probably gonna be starting on that, to be honest with you. But yeah, no, like One Step from Mean is a fantastic game. But yeah, definitely the games I just mentioned because I lost them: Risk of Rain 2, Monster Sanctuary, One Step from Eden. Deep Rock Galactic is very fun with friends. Very, very, very fun with friends. I'm just scrolling down my list right now. Here's a Hammerwatch is a very cheap Gauntlet style town development type of game that you can play with friends or other people online. That's pretty cheap right now. Actually, it's on sale if you're watching this before January 2nd. But yeah, that's just a few. I have many games that I could recommend, but definitely take a look at the ones that I just mentioned. So yeah, for sure. From Syedge, will we ever get a finished Oracle of the Ages run? Oracle of Ages, talk about Legend of Zelda. So, funny story. I went back and tried to randomize it. And I remember how much I hated that game. Okay, I don't hate it. It's just really, really long. It's a really long game. There's a ton of puzzles in it. My brain hurts, and then I randomized it and ruined it for myself. No, but I mean, I played through. The only reason why I never finished that Oracle of Ages playthrough on YouTube is because I lost the file, and I didn't give a shit to go back and get myself to the same spot. I think the Roomba's going rogue upstairs. Anyways, yeah, but I just never got back to getting myself to the same spot. It was kind of disappointing that I had lost my file like that. I think it was during when I like moved from one computer to the other. It just either didn't get saved when I thought I had saved it, or it got corrupted on the way. So, or lost. But either way, yeah. Will we get it finished? It's hard for me to talk about content. I already have like 2021 completely jam-packed full of stuff, unless I plan to beat everything 3 or 4 days earlier than I think. Then I'll have a ton more time, but time will tell, dear Syedge. I don't know is the answer. That's all I can say. Yeah. From Marie X Lupin, when are you finally going to play Chrono Trigger? Randomize sometime potentially in 2021 or 2022. But we will keep the story normal. I just want to play with some randomizer settings to, keep on brand. But yeah, you're looking at it. It'll be happening. Don't worry. From the Boyk's favorite dog movie. I think it was called Cats vs. Dogs. Cats vs. Dogs. Yeah, the 2001 film. I forgot they had a second one, The Revenge of Kitty Galore. God. Yeah, Cats vs. Dogs. Because I don't know that many dog movies. I never watched Air Bud, never watched any of those movies. But Cats vs. Dogs, that movie was hilarious to me as a kid. I don't know about now, but it was definitely hilarious to me as a kid. For Marie X Lupin, if you could have a superpower, which would you pick? Now, it depends on what superhero world we're living in. I used to always say super speed. I was very obsessed with super speed as a kid. And invisibility because I'm fast and had no friends. But, now, as much as people say it's a curse, probably mind reading. Probably. Because I try to do it anyways. I just wish I could do it better. Like I try to read people now, and it's like a toss-up. It works sometimes, but yeah, I've always been obsessed with either speed and invisibility. Like I could say invincibility because I'm a boring Superman fan, but I also don't want to be weak to a green rock. So yeah, definitely mind control followed by speed and then invisibility. I've always liked stealth stuff. Even as a kid, I liked a lot of stealth like toys and spy movies and stuff like that. Like Spy Kids was my absolute jam. So yes, just mind control, not mind control. Yeah, we just went from mind reading to mind control. Perfect. Good shit to put on YouTube. Please, YouTube, put me in the algorithm. Appreciate you. Okay, next. From Syedge, when are you finally going to play Chrono Trigger? Asked twice, so now this has to be answered. Refer to my answer 3 ago. Randomize sometime potentially in 2021 or 2022. From Marie X Lupin, if you go back in time and give advice to yourself when you first started streaming, what would you say? What would I say? Huh. So I thought about this. I thought about this question actually, and the first thing that popped into my mind is say nothing at all. That sounds kind of like a cop-out answer, and I'll explain why though. Because I don't think I would have learned what I learned about streaming and just content creation up till now. Like, I'm not a big guy, right? Like, you might think, you know, this man's been doing online creation for almost 6 years for streaming, and then total online creation for almost 10 years. Actually, it's just crested on 9 this month. But, like, you would think that with all the time that I've invested into this, growth isn't there. I should quit because, you know, the time and money sink is just bad. But I also don't think I would be in such a great position to push forward with my content if I had known anything that I knew now. Because I'm a person that likes to learn through mistakes without them getting berated, and I kind of have to, like, eat shit a little bit, but on my own terms. Which sounds, it's basically like, if I'm gonna make a mistake, I don't want people to be sitting there going, yeah, you done fucked up, boy. Get good, right? Like, I hate that mentality. I don't like people just saying, get good, learn this, go do this, as a teacher, by the way, because I believe that you should foster that learning and reflect. I would probably say, the advice that I would give myself, though, other than, you know, the cop-out, be yourself and don't be afraid of your memes and dreams and all this shit, is realize how special content actually is to me, because I truly believe, like, I always cared about content, but I let a lot of things get in the way of it, you know, whether I was just burning out and put my friends in, and I wasn't tactical enough with putting my care for content on the front line behind, because I had a bunch of friends that was, you know, back in 2011, 2012, 2013, before I went to Twitch, and before I started doing a lot of research, a lot of it was make money, do the popular stuff, be different, blah, 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 blah. And it still exists, just a different business model, because the business model is not do good shit, make money. That's the end goal, but in terms of the way you get there, you don't have the same end goal be part of your process. Right? You build things around getting into that process. That's a lot to tell a new person, though. That's why when people ask about, like, new advice, you're not supposed to say, work hard, do what you like, do your research, right? You're not supposed to say that. Simultaneously, sometimes you just have to enter the fire and see how it feels in there, right? I believe sometimes the only way you know is you try, and if you feel like you want to get better at it, you will invest the time and you'll invest the energy into finding the resources that benefit you and your mentality. I would love to say that everybody's going to succeed, right? I would love to believe that. The reality is that's not how life works. Otherwise, everyone would be a rocket scientist. Everyone would have millions of dollars without needing any type of political shift or stuff like that. But probably my advice would be just be more educated about my goals and appreciate the process more, because I always appreciated the process, but I feel like there was that one piece missing where, because I didn't actually appreciate the process as much as I could have, I devalued myself and my content, and I let other people control how I do it. And as a result, put myself in negative spirals quite a bit, especially with the people that I knew back then. And, you know, I didn't surround myself with modern successful people per se. Not everybody. Like, I had some great people back when I was like the first big thing that I did was the Poke Fight Club, and that was pretty cool because that was like the first big move with like Bane Rain, Cliftongasm, Taiki, I think. Like, there's a bunch of people who like, that was the cool move. It never went very far, but it was a really, really cool first step in online creation. But I think it's a matter of, like, seeing that and building a model around it. That's what I would tell myself. Just be a little more organized, because I already know how to be organized. But, you know, everybody also knows how to not be depressed, and it's not that simple. There's work and a process involved, and having Mentor Me would help that quite a bit. Good question. It's a tough one, though, for me. From Syedge, one day you're streaming and you become hungry, but you don't feel like moving. What would you resort to eating that's around me? Oh, God. Well, we've got metal. I've got, like, gloves. There's a lot of dust. Yeah, sorry. A lot of dust. I mean, I guess probably my dice, right? Like, if I'm feeling like I want a Jawbreaker, I've got my extra life dice. 2 of them. I could just pretend the red D20 is strawberry flavored. This could be... The yellow one here could be, like, lemon. Which is fine. Lemon candies are alright. This could be... I don't know, boozeberry. This could be a mini blueberry. I think I'll just starve. Be honest with you, but probably the dice. I also have water, so as long as this doesn't run out, we're getting low. As long as this doesn't run out, we're fine, right? It will run out. I drink a lot of water. Okay, from Marie X Lupin, you have mentioned, and I have to emphasize ellipsis, issues with the competitive aspects of Pokemon, such as it not being competitively viable at all. Agreed. What, if any, game would you recommend for an actual non-RNG based competitive scene? As much as I make fun of it, Temtem. I firmly believe that Temtem has... I don't know about... I have not played its official competitive scene or watched its competitive scene because I just have no interest in it. But I do know that they are doing great work with the mechanics in their game to create a pretty competitive scene. I would also say Monster Sanctuary. I think there's still a little bit of RNG in it, but I'd say it's still competitively viable because they are consistently updating it. They have that advantage with it being one game, right? Like the problem is Pokemon puts out generation by generation. So you're not going to see Pokemon go into Gen 8 and reduce the damage of poison, for example, whereas Monster Sanctuary and Temtem will because it's one game that they're developing. And that will get all of its polish then and there. Pokemon releases, obviously, in multiple games, so it makes it difficult. For those who are curious as to why I say Pokemon is not competitively viable, accuracy checks, RNG elements that you cannot control other than going out of your way, and the game is so bare bones basic. Everything has to be the same level to make it as viable as you can. IVs and EVs are the only thing that differentiate Pokemon, and as well as base stats. And then, like, type matchups. It has... promise, but the problem is my favorite line that I ever heard is imagine somebody going into a $50,000 tournament and losing to an 80% accurate attack missing, right? Like, can you imagine your whole career is based on that? You miss a 20% move, you play perfectly, and then you miss that one move and you lose the entire game. That's Pokemon. That's not viable in the slightest. That is not competitive. League of Legends, MOBAs in general are competitive because they manage elements of RNG, but they manage it to create an element of skill. Now, obviously, they're completely different games played. But if you're looking to ones that look similar to Pokemon, Temtem and Monster Sanctuary are probably the ones that I've seen that'll be pretty good. I don't know a lot of games that play like Pokemon that would be competitively viable that I see on a regular basis. One that is as competitively viable is Minecraft speedrunning. Because that one's even worse than Pokemon. That one is at least 85% RNG, 80% RNG, because it depends on the seed and what you find, right? One person could go one way in the nether, the other person goes the other way in the nether, and one person finds a bash and the other person finds a pool of lava. Yeah. The problem is there are too many aspects in Pokemon that just kind of ruin it because perfect play is not rewarded in Pokemon like it should be, right? It is, but, I mean... I threw a guy professionally in Super Smash Brothers. That makes it competitively viable, right? Because I can do it. Just because you can do it doesn't make it like, if you're the best in the game, you're always going to be the best in the game. And you might say, well, it's boring to see the same person win all the time. Not if you watch sports a lot. Like, people get bored of, like, the Patriots or whatever in NFL. Those people are just salty that their own team's not winning. Can you imagine winning 40 years in a row or just winning a bunch of times? I love seeing the same people win nonstop because if they're good, they deserve to be freaking good. Think about the SKT legacy for like 2 or 3 years in League of Legends, right? Like, yeah, you get bored, like, oh, here they go, winning again. It's like because they're so damn good. That's cool to watch. People just don't like seeing, they like underdog stories. I like seeing that stuff. Pokemon can't do that. No matter how good you are, you could still lose. You could just still lose. So, but yeah, I would look into Temtem or Monster Sanctuary. They seem to be most promising in the similar facets here. Okay, question from Syage. I'm running out of time. Oh no. How stacked of a peanut butter sandwich do you think you could eat without reaching for something to drink? Well, I did 7 layers back in like 2012 or 2013. How many layers could I do without reaching for a drink? I'm a very big paste eater, so it's difficult to say. I could probably do. I think 7 was kind of the limit, man. I think 7's pretty good. I could push to 8, maybe 9. Depends on the bread too, right? If you give me a little bit of a thinner bread, I can go 9, 10. But I'm gonna say 8. I'd give myself an extra layer. That stuff gets real dry. And if you're Amagama, you use crunchy peanut butter and you hate the inside of your mouth. Okay, next question from Syedge. After the Extra Life event ends, do you usually start brainstorming ideas and writing them down throughout the year until the next Extra Life event, or closer to the date when Extra Life weeks begins? Syedge, I'm gonna tell you right now, I do plan like a year in advance for that. Because what ends up happening is I see what other people do and I write them down. I see if I want to use them. Like the game show, I will tell you one aspect, not the games themselves. The games I save and look back and go, okay, what did I play in previous years? What could I bring back? What was successful? What feels like it's going to get stale if I do it again? Other than Long Live Santa. That stays forever. That's always in the schedule. But I think same thing with golf with your friends. But for me, the one that does get planned is the game show well in advance, because I just have ideas and I go, man, I've got like 11 categories, but I can't do 11 categories. I can only do 6 because that's just the best timing now. It's like 3 or 4 hour game show, which is perfectly fine. So I end up having a lot of ideas for the game show. Like I can tell you right now, I already have 3 or 4 of the 6 categories for next game show for 2021 Extra Life. But generally speaking, I plan now. Like what I did this year where I started planning in June helped a lot. That gave me, we started streaming in August for Extra Life. So it was August to November. So it's August, September, October, November. So it's 4 months of, or basically 3 months of content all the way up to the game day weekend. But yeah, I usually plan a couple months in advance because you really don't know what you're going to be going into. Game-wise doesn't really matter until you get closer to the day, because I like having people bring me the ideas of what they want to play. So, you know, you want to give it some time, and maybe somebody's picked up a randomizer, like Prudent Gaming picked up a Kingdom Hearts 2 randomizer, want to try that, or Raz wanted to do Wind Waker. Like, this stuff I wouldn't know in 2019, for example. So, format-wise, now, going into 2021, I'm going to know, like, I want to do multiple streams before game day weekend. I like the length of the game day weekend. I know what I want to do, like what the order is. I'm starting to get into that. The only thing that really gets planned is the game show in advance, but it is always on the lookout, updating stuff that Extra Life itself or Sick Kids pumps out, try and get myself the information that I need and go from there. But it really depends on what you're looking at when it comes to like what aspect of Extra Life that I'm planning. But yeah, that one, because I take that one very, very, very seriously, I try to plan that out the best that I can and have at least the longer aspects ready to go before getting into the nitty-gritty of organizing 15, 20 people, or sorry, 15, 20 content creators and going from there. So yes. All right, question for Sobear. This is I'm just going to list this all off. This is a list by Snowbear22. Here we go. How many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Roll? How many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Roll Pop? At least 4. What is the airspeed velocity of a swallow? However much you stockpile, and don't use spit up. What would you do for a Klondike bar? Pull my pants down on a windy day and do the Macarena. What's in my wallet? Let's see. Okay. I got a MasterCard. Oh no, they can find me now. I have a debit card. Petrocan gas card, Presto card. I have TTC tokens for the subway that I haven't taken in a year. I've got my SBC card, which is a student pricing card. They still take it because I look like I'm a kid in school still, which is great. Edge card, CAA. I have a library card. That's not even from the area that I'm in. What else do we got here? License plate. Yeah, I got a license plate in my wallet, guys. Big wallet. Driver's license, health card. I don't know, what's this thing? Oh, my insurance. Nice. Let's just put a bunch of all this information. You guys can't see this, right? Yeah, okay, you can't even see that I'm holding my wallet. Perfect. Tim Hortons gift cards? Gift cards? I have gift cards for Tim Hortons? No. Do I really? Oh, rewards cards. Oh, yeah, they canceled that shit if you didn't get in to begin with. I can tell you there's no money. I have my old CanFit Pro licensing, which just got canceled this year. My I have my business cards for as a teacher and as a fitness trainer for my business, Small But Mighty Trainer. I mean, my name's already on Fiverr. You can find my full name. It's fine. Sport Check gift card. Now, I'm going to show you something that I do. This is just something I do, but I take gift cards and I, like, put sticky notes with their pricing, like how much money I have left on them. Just because I hate asking them to scan it, like I just want to buy it. And it also helps me plan in advance when I go out, like, okay, how much do I have money-wise here? So instead of me checking it online or whatever, like I just know the amount. Some of them you can't, well, back when I got these gift cards, you couldn't check online. The newer ones, I just check online, but back when you couldn't, I used to write them down like that. Let's see, I can go to Swiss Chalet. I got stuff to the Source. I still have 34 bucks to the Source. Holy shit, I gotta buy a new mouse. Home Outfitters, HBC. This is a Starbucks. I'm pretty sure I used the Starbucks gift card up. Maybe not. All right. That's in my wallet. There you go. No money. Just a bunch of debt and debt creating processes. There you go. What is the capital of Assyria? Is Assyria even a real place? Okay, from Prudent Gaming. African or European swallow? So I would imagine they would move at similar velocities if both of them are just falling straight down. That's how you take two questions out with one answer. Almost like two birds with one stone. That was so choppy. That was a terrible joke. I'm sorry. From Initiator, what's something you do now that you couldn't last year? Exercise, actually, because my injuries were so severe. Now with all the physical therapy and psychotherapy that I've been going through, exercising. It's not as much as I want it to be. Like, I have not been doing nearly as much as I usually would, because again of, like, I got a little ill a couple of months ago, and then from there, like, my physical health and mental health have kind of been like, so, but like exercising is the biggest one. I can go for 2-3 hour walks. They're not still the most comfortable, but getting there. And like standing, I could do a lot more standing. My back's not hurting as much, right? Like, I still go through a lot of those pains, but it's definitely something I can do a lot more consistently and stay standing, and stay physically okay. I can sleep well at night now without my leg like cramping in the middle of the night or when I wake up. I can stretch my legs a little more. Still can't fully stretch my leg out, but I can stretch my legs to an extent. So, like, before it would be like if I even like tried to extend my toes and point my foot down like this, my calf would seize. So I can do that now. Not great, but I can do that. So, slow healing process, but it's getting there. From Broken But Alive. He almost tricked me with his Discord name. All right. What's the most mentally challenging thing you deal with before hitting the start streaming button? I thought about this one because I usually go into streams, like, fully prepared, and kind of that anxiety's fallen. The one thing that has never left me is I'm going to say something that'll get me TOS'd. Not because I'm a person that says it on a regular basis. It's always been a fear of mine to go to a job and just accidentally slip and either swear or say something that's not part of my lexicon, but because I tend to trip over my words a lot, like, something could just slip out and it's not even like remotely close to what I wanted to say. Or, you know, like, kind of that, because for those who know me well enough, I've had a background where I've known a lot of people who sadly have partaken in a lot of activities and words and beliefs that I don't like at all, but and grew out of really quickly, thank God, as growing up. But there's just always that fear that I'm gonna actually say something that's gonna hurt someone, and I don't want to do that, right? That's not what I want to do ever. So probably that, but that's why I also focus on effective communication, making sure that if something goes wrong, that you communicate and you properly, well, I mean, I say properly atone for it. That's me saying sorry and that's it. Because I'm not the type of person I'm going to give you a 20-minute apology video. I'm going to explain what happened and then say sorry, because that's what I learned as a kid, that people can forgive and move forward with everybody growing. So no, sorry, you're not going to, if you cancel me in the future, you're not getting a long apology video that you control. That's not how this works. But I focus on effective communication so that we can all improve ourselves and work together so that if something does go wrong, we're not, like, yelling at each other or things like that. And by the way, this is not covering your ass. This is just called being a human being, interacting one human to the other. It's like, we don't have to shit on people who make mistakes. So that's why I try and focus on that and ensure that I am doing my best to not let, you know, the deepest, darkest denizens of the brain that I cannot access with any brain power not out of nowhere flare for some stupid related reason, right? So, but that's probably the one that I deal with the most. Because everything else I'm pretty, like, I just sit down, I'm ready to go, I'm excited to stream. So, there's no nervousness about conversation topics, I can just never shut up and I'll be good to go. I like talking about things that I have no idea what it is, or I just make jokes, sarcasm, observational humor. The man is all good to go. The physical humor is, bam! That's not physical humor. That's physical humor. But, yeah, everything's just good to go. Improv helps a lot. I'm glad that the one thing I was good at in drama was improv. Except for that improv team. They didn't like me. But, fuck them. Anyways, if I had to look back at the year and choose one moment from stream to sum up the year, what would it be? Jesus, man. Yeah, choose 12 months in to ask that. Oh, God. Reaching $2,000 during Extra Life with the Millibug. Because I couldn't say a word. I was shocked, amazed, ever so thankful for the community. And it's just a win. Because this year was me winning. Respectfully said, of course. This year was, in my opinion, the most successful year for content creation in my entire career. Which I can actually say now. It feels like a career. Not a big one, but it's a part-time career. So, that would be it. Me speechless and just, like, speechlessly thankful for everything that has happened, with all the new creators that I've met this year, with all the new community members we have met this year, with all the great friends that I've been able to build relationships with and share in a passion for gaming, share in a passion for just good times, being good people, positivity, and just wanting to kick ass on the internet, you know, like, yeah, it's been a wild ride this year. It's fantastic. What was my favorite non-Pokemon randomizer run from this year? Ooh. Probably Wind Waker. Probably Wind Waker. It was fun with Raz. I want to do that again. Co-op was very fun. I like co-op Zelda runs. Those were very fun to me. That was very interesting to learn. I didn't learn as many glitches as she did, but I had a lot of fun learning how to get fast at that game, and it felt like an accomplishment because I'm not a 3D Zelda player, right? Like I'm a top-down Zelda player, and like tactics turn-based player. So it was really, I felt very proud of myself to get as good as I did, which is still not like remotely good compared to other people, but it's not about comparisons. I'm comparing it to myself, where, you know, we went from 10 to 2.5 hours. Holy crap, it was fantastic. That was a very fun randomizer. What was your favorite randomized Pokemon run from this year? Oh God. I don't, look, time's been a little messed up, so I can't really answer that because I don't know which run had what. Honestly, I'm just gonna go recent and say, as much as I'm hating it, the 543 challenge has been quite a summary of the amount of nuzlocke skill that I've had to accrue to, like there's a lot of skill in what we've done. We're on one game left. Like, there's like one game left with one chance, and even if we lose it, like, it feels like I've worked my way up to this, kind of like that pinnacle of your skill, like that peak tournament level skill. So the 543 challenge has kind of been almost a reaffirmation of how much I've actually learned nuzlocking over 3 years in a randomized environment, and how, like, you could just roll over and lose or just always blame RNG, but there's always been a thing that we can learn from it. So it feels really good to do well in the 543 challenge, and we'll see what happens after that. We'll see. Last run is on 20, or on the, it's tomorrow. Oh my God, this is not gonna be out in time, but the last run will have happened. You'll see in 2021 whether or not we beat it or not, I suppose. Next question from Broken But Alive. What is my favorite piece of Lord Sparse lore? Woohoo! Favorite piece of Lord Sparse lore? Probably the development of the story with the 4 Pokemon of the Nuzpocalypse. Like with Raikou, Caterpie, Wingull, and Dugong. I think the journey was pretty cool with what we did with the Nuzlocking through all the ages. But, yeah, no, I definitely, definitely one of the most memorable things was the drill that pierces the heavens. That's probably the most memorable thing to say about Lord Sparse, like the most defining feature of him, but also, of it, rather. But also, the 4 Pokemon in the Nuzlocke and the drill that pierces the heavens, probably, are just the most you could play off of, too, right? Just from a content standpoint, like, just looking aside from the story, like, it's the most you could play off of, and just has a lot of fun with it. Then you get Drill Run on your Dunsparce, just like, okay, well, it writes itself. Okay, if you had to restart this year over stream-wise, knowing how this year turned out, would you change how you did anything? DMCA potential or VODs don't count. Well, that's the only thing I would change. Not that I did that much anyways, but... would I change anything differently? I don't know if I'd organize Nuzcember a little bit better, because Nuzcember is kind of like the dumpster fire to begin with. I think this year went pretty well. Maybe organized, like, the game show and other things a little bit sooner, so I could have did even more social media. Like, one thing I need to do is definitely social media usage a lot better. Like, I need to use Twitter a lot more. Maybe look into doing some Reddit work, because there's a lot of Nuzlockers on Reddit. There's a lot of content on Reddit. I just really dislike that platform. Sorry, Reddit users. I just don't get it. I'm not a guy who uses the internet and reads stuff all day. I just speak stuff all day. Much different. But I think social media usage still would be the one thing I would have done stream-wise a little bit better. Like I think the live content hit its peak. We're going to be updating overlays and things like that. I think this year kind of showed that we need to do that. Now that, you know, PokeLink is just like a staple. Bingos are going to be a staple. Randomizers are a staple. I need better overlays that will accompany that or accommodate for that. But in terms of anything else, it's probably just social media usage. I need to learn how to use it even better. I'll talk a lot more on it. It's tough because I don't use the only reason why I use social media is because of streaming. Without it, I would not be using Twitter. Like, truly, I would be off Twitter. Now, having said that, I have, like, great friends that I knew through streaming on Twitter, but I only use Twitter for that. And that's not to devalue the friendships I've made from people on Twitter or on Discord or stuff like that. Discord I would still use, but stuff like Instagram, Twitter, Reddit, these things, they were never a part of my life with this stuff. So yeah, it's just probably better social media usage, more effective social media usage, planning out. Like I was doing well for a couple of months, and then it didn't happen because I just got really busy with, like, especially December. Like, I've been streaming so much, I have not had the mental capacity to I've not had the mental capacity to continue to do the social media stuff. Sorry, something just popped into my head and I'm like, oh my god, they don't expect me to be going into the office for this test, right? They said online, right? They said Zoom call. Okay, we're good. Thanks, situational anxiety or just general anxiety. Great. But yeah, social media usage, definitely. And going into 2021, what are you most excited for your planned content? Jesus, dude. Probably the Pro Pokeball randomized league. I'm actually, I don't know how successful it will be, but I'm really obsessed with seeing if I can, as well as I created the Pro Pokeball, if I can create a randomized league with Pokemon and make it as successful, if not more successful, merely because the format is going to be so much simpler, faster, but will be more accessible. If I can make that work, that will be an accomplishment, because I've seen randomized tournaments, Pokemon randomizer tournaments, and I'm not talking about like nuzlocking racing, I'm talking about like on Pokemon Showdown. I've seen mini tournaments. I have not seen a league that people could go into and has this level of uniqueness with how you do randomized battles. So I'm really looking forward to PPBR, and we have like a ton of randomizers I want to try. I'm not going to mention all of them on stream or on video because it's going to take too long to mention all those. But yeah, PPBR is probably my most excited. It's going to be a lot of work, but it's going to be worth it if it actually pays off. Okay, last question from Amma Gamma. Am I a moose? Are you a moose, Gamma? Yes. And nothing will ever change that. You are the greatest moose. Some say you are the finest of moosery. You have so much moose in your hair, you just have antlers growing out of your head now. Antlers? Antlers. I live in Canada, by the way. Never seen one. Thank God, because if you see a moose, the chances of you surviving, if they're anywhere in your path, slim to nil. Don't fuck with moose. Don't fuck with Gamma. Easy peasy. I'll throw this in as a bonus question because Syedge missed the cutoff. He wanted to ask how my day was going. Well, I have to go because that's the end of the video and I really need to get to this session. So thank you everybody for watching this Q&A. We plan to do this probably monthly, or we'll see how it plays out. I say monthly, but if nobody has any questions, then I can't answer any questions. So we'll play it by the number of questions that people have, and we'll go from there. Thank you very much, everybody, for submitting your questions over on Discord. Remember, if you want to join the Discord where we have all the updates for all the content that we do on this channel, tournaments, randomizer things, anything like that, Discord link is down below. And of course, if you want to check out the live content where you will find like 98% of the stuff that I produce, twitch.tv/ProPokeNoob. Link is down below in the description as well. You've been fantastic. Thank you very much for all this great content this year. There will be an end of year video put out and it will be streamed on December 31st. And just kind of a summary of everything that we looked at and what we're looking forward to. You have been wonderful. Thank you very much. And you guys have a wonderful and safe day. Really? We're going to salute now? What are you doing, Hand? Really?